everybody. Thanks for stopping by. It's Tracy with JDL Threads. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, hey, welcome back. And if you've decided to subscribe, thank you so much. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some more embroidery designs to my jacket. In a previous video, I did add some 4th of July designs to the top of my jacket, and today we're just going to be adding a few more. First ones up is a digitized Prince symbol design. Got to pay tribute to the Purple Man himself. Love me some Prince. I'm practicing on my digitizing, so we're going to go ahead and digitize this Prince design that I did in my Chroma Lux software, and we're going to stitch that out on my Ricoma MT1501 embroidery machine. Supplies we're going to need is our 6.5, or excuse me, 6.25 by 8.25 mighty hoop. We're going to need some just little snips to trim some leftover strings. I'm going to be using a piece of cutaway stabilizer. You can use tearaway if that's your choice. I'm just going to be using cutaway today. And then also I'm going to be using my jacket, and I'm going to be just placing my Prince design right here underneath my pocket. So come on over to the craft table and let's get that set up so we can get it ready for this design to stitch out. Okay, everybody, so all we're going to do is we're just going to take our mighty hoop apart. And sometimes these things are so strong, I gotta just really use a lot of strength to get that loose there. So this is our bottom part of our mighty hoop. And remember, warning sign always goes down. We're going to put the warning sign to the top of the embroidery. Excuse me, to the other side of the mighty hoop. We're going to put this bottom part warning sign down, top of the mighty hoop. And then we're going to put on our stabilizer on top of our mighty hoop like so. We're going to place our jacket where we want to get that design stitched out. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay my jacket on top. Like so, being careful not to get my pocket in that design because I don't want to stitch my pocket down. I'm going to try to just put it to push it over just a little bit because I'm trying to really get the Prince design centered here. So we're going to see how far I have to push it over in the embroidery machine so that I can get that whole design stitched out without getting my top pocket or my lower pocket stitched together. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the top hoop on. Let's see if I'm going to avoid these buttons here. Don't want to catch those buttons. All right, and that looks pretty good. Not going to really worry about this button on that side there because it's off to the side and it's not going to stitch on that side anyways. I'm just going to pull it a little bit to get it a little straight. Check out where my design's going to land. My jacket over a little bit more this way to the middle. So what's going to happen is the sides of my jacket over here are not going to be lined up with the outside of the hoop, but that's okay. We're going to just still pull it really nice and taut so that we don't have any registration issues. So let me go ahead and add the top of the hoop. Remember, the U goes to the right side for when you go to enter it into your embroidery machine. And I'm going to push it down a little bit more. Because I don't want it to catch my pocket. So I want my hoop to be right outside that pocket. All right, so what I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm going to go ahead and get my jacket lined up. Try to get it in the center of the hoop as possible. I'm not going to have my jacket all the way to the edge of the mighty hoop because I want the Prince design to be more centered here underneath the pocket. But so we're just going to pull it taut to make sure that it doesn't have any registration issues. And I want the design to kind of fall right underneath the pocket so I don't catch any of that pocket. That looks like a pretty good placement. Push it up just a little more. And I'm going to go ahead and put that top part of my mighty hoop down. And I'm just going to pull it a little taut here, you guys. Trying to just get it as straight as possible so that my design can land right inside of these two seams here. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now you can see it's hooped on the top side, and also we've got our stabilizer going into the bottom part of the mighty hoop. And it's not going to catch over here, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. But you do want to make sure that your stabilizer is from hoop to hoop in case you have a bigger design that just might go all the way over there. But mine is not going over there, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And we're going to go ahead and get it hooped up into our MT1501. So let's head on over to our embroidery machine. All right, everybody, so we are at the Ricoma MT1501 embroidery machine, and I'm just going to pull my jacket back like so to make sure that all this extra fabric goes on top of this bar. On the bottom here, we're going to slide our hoop in. And yes, I did use a smaller hoop for this jacket. Had to go ahead and just get a smaller one in there and make sure that it is turned over down on the bottom of there so we don't have so much fabric from the hoop to the back of this frame here. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay the rest of the jacket over to the side of my arm of my embroidery machine so it's not so much fabric falling to the floor. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to head and just do a trace to see where that embroidery design is going to land. Here we go. And I think I'm going to push it over just a little bit there. And let's try that one more time, you guys. Do one more trace. All right, and I do like the placement of that. So with that, all my colors are into my embroidery machine. I've already loaded those in, and let's go ahead and start stitching this out. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start stitching this out. Here we go. as you saw in a little bit before this stitch out, I did have to just go ahead and adjust my attention a little bit more because I do my test stitch out on a different fabric, and the jeans is a little bit heavier. So all I did was turn the bottom knobs for my bobbin tension to the right, and that just tightens up my bobbin thread tension a little bit more. And now, as you can see, my embroidery machine is going ahead and stitching out. All right, everybody, and with that, the design is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off my loose threads, and I'll show you what that looks like. And there it is, my nicely digitized, stitched out Prince design. I'm working on my digitizing, you guys. Think it came out pretty awesome. So next up, let's see what we're going to pick. Okay, you guys, for my next design, what I've decided to do is use a lace butterfly that I got from Creative Fabrica, and I'm going to be putting it on the sleeve of my jacket here. Here's the sleeve cap, as you guys can see right here, and the butterfly is going to go approximately right up here by the sleeve cap. Now, for this design, I'm not going to be using my wonderful mighty hoops. I'm going to be going back to my standard hoop that came with my embroidery machine, because what I find is when I do my sleeves designs, anything I want to put on my sleeves, the mighty hoop doesn't have enough room all the way around, because that top hoop takes up some of the space away from your design. Whereas with these standard designs, these standard hoops that come with your embroidery machine, you get the whole circle all the way around for that design to just move back and forth in that hoop, and you still have a half of inch over here where that design needs to be inside of the half an inch on each side. But the mighty hoop has a little bit less than what that is. So for my sleeves, I do like to go back to my standard hoop. So I'm going to be using my D-size mighty hoop, my D-size standard hoop that came with my machine, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch out this lace butterfly on my sleeve. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hoop, the bottom of my standard hoop, and I'm going to use a nice large piece of cutaway stabilizer that completely covers the bottom of that hoop. I'm going to slide it into my sleeve like so. You see it's going into my sleeve here. Okay, you guys, I'm going to just turn it over so I can see where my stabilizer is going here. Make sure it's all the way inside that hoop. All I'm going to do is put it inside the hoop, the bottom part of the hoop. Make sure that's flat, and all the way around that hoop. I'm just going to turn it back over, because I want the embroidery hoop to catch all parts of this design. Okay, well, so that's not working out pretty good for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it on the top and put it in, and put my stabilizer right on the top of that bottom hoop, because I can see that better with it laying on the top as far as where my design is going to fall. So that's all the way hooped in, all the way around that bottom hoop. I could just reach in there and feel it, and I can see it on the top. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top part of my hoop, and I'm going to press it down inside the bottom part of my hoop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to put a pin in there to show my center, so I can get that lined up as best as possible. So I'm going to take one of my sewing pins and reposition that. So let me fold it to where the middle of this sleeve cap is here. And I'm going to just make a little crease with my finger like so. And then I'm going to take my sewing pin, and I'm just going to stick it in here right in the top, so I can know where the center of my design is. All right, now I'm going to take the bottom part of my standard hoop, and I'm going to put it back underneath that sleeve. I'm going to take my cutaway stabilizer and put it back on the bottom part of that hoop. Making sure to get it covered all the way around. And I'm going to flatten it out as much as I can here. All right. Now that looks better. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take my top part of my embroidery hoop and I'm going to try to line up this little tab with my pin so we can get that on center. Find where's my hoop. Oh, I have to scoop my hoop down a little. Because it's not all the way in there where I want it to be. So let me just put my jacket more on the table here and I can go ahead and recheck this. All right, that looks good. Okay. Now we'll take our top hoop and try to line it up with this pin here when we press it down. And that looks pretty good, you guys. That looks much better. All right. So I'm going to take my pin out. I'm going to reach back under and make sure to tighten up my hoop as much as I can. I got it on the bottom here. So that feels pretty good. Now we have our jacket sleeve hooped all the way inside our standard embroidery hoop. And now let's head over to the embroidery machine so we can get that up and get this lace butterfly stitched out. All right, you guys, so once again, I'm just going to go ahead and put my jacket over top of the bottom bar. I'm going to slide my hoop in, making sure that the other side of the jacket is not caught up into that bottom part of this bar down here, and making sure my sleeve is underneath that bar. I'm going to take the rest of my jacket and lay it over the left side of my embroidery arm, and I'm going to go ahead and do a trace. And that looks good to me, so I'm going to just go ahead and fold this down so it doesn't get caught in anything. I'm going to change my color to a pink color, and we're going to go ahead and get this stitched out. Here we go. I just picked this one up at Creative Fabrica Embroidery Designs. Again, they have so many things you can do. You can get embroidery designs. You can get things for sublimation, SVG files for your Cricut machine, and many, many more things. So check that site out, guys. It's just really worth the money. All right, everybody, and that was a nice, quick lace embroidery design. So you know what my MO is. Let me go ahead and clean up these stitches, and I'll show you what it looks like. Easy peasy. Pull that out, and there you have it. A nice lace embroidery design that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica for the sleeve of my jacket. And let me just take this hoop off. And there's what the back of the stabilizer looks like. And there is the side of my sleeve, you guys. Look at that. Came out just so nice, right? All right. And with that, that concludes our embroidery designs that I'm putting on my jacket for today. I am going to continue until this jacket is all filled up with embroidery designs, and in some places I'm going to have to put patches because I don't want to sew my pockets down. But let me get a close-up and let you see what that looks like. There's my Prince design, and there is my nice lace sleeve butterfly design. So thank you again, you guys, everybody, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with me and the Ricoma MT1501 embroidery machine. And keep on stitching and have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.